how do we feel about like PC culture? Like
Are you talking about like cancel culture?
Canceling?
and all that?
cancel, yeah, kind of.
Canceling is fake, in my opinion. It's not something that actually is happening.
If you had to rank yourself against others based on a specific trait, what would it say about how you see them and how they see you? We brought together 5 liberals and had them rank each other least to most politically left. Then, we had them take the political compass test and rearrange them based on how left they actually are. This is ranking.
My name is Max. I turned 24 today. It is my birthday. I work in the video game industry.
My name's Chris. I'm 26 years old, currently between jobs, so I don't know, just a person living.
I'm Ajay. I work in nonprofit education. I'm 27. Yeah.
I'm Brandy. I am 30 and I own a wellness and lifestyle brand.
And I'm Allison, I'm 26, and I'm an ad writer / editor.
So just straight into it, just like what I think would count as like a left-leaning person. Yeah, sure. Pushing for medical care for everyone, free medical care for everyone, stuff like that. I want this person to be a living wage. I want this person to be living comfortably. I want this person to just like live. If I had one thing to say to people in general in a large population is like, fight for other people's rights, fight for other people's comfortability, make sure other humans are human to you.
What I would prioritize, which is like someone on that side would prioritize, like I would, fair housing before most things.
Yeah.
Because if you guarantee housing, I guarantee you most problems will be solved.
What would you be willing to lose for that though?
I would lose like a good amount of military spending for fair housing.
Of course.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
absolutely.
also-
I think we all would.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that.
Because I think that there are people that are conservative, maybe not like extreme right wing, but they would say that they believe in like LGBT rights, but they're fiscally conservative. Oh, I'm pro whatever, but if you're not like putting money toward those things, I just don't feel like you're actually saying that you believe in it.
What's your guys' view on like the whole Palestine-Israel situation?
Yeah, for Palestine.
Like,
Do
I'm
you
not
guys
gonna
have
be
a,
like,
do you guys have like an idea for like a solution, two-state solution? Let's say.
Like a two-state solution?
Anything really?
No, because it's like really hard, but like I do know that I care a little bit more about that than the Ukraine thing right now. Because like it's not the worst thing I've seen this past 5 years.
It's a good point that there's all this like all the Ukraine flags everywhere and everyone's all throwing all the support when like the Palestine-Israel conflict has been happening for way longer. How do we feel about like PC culture? Like
Are you talking about like cancel culture?
Canceling?
and all that?
cancel, yeah, kind of.
Canceling is fake, in my
It's-
opinion. It's not something that actually is happening.
I'm just gonna say Dave Chappelle. I have nothing.
Dave Chappelle, question mark?
Like, does anyone opinion change different after that last special?
There was a part in the special where he said, hey, I'm just a human going through an experience.
Yeah.
I think that was the main thing that everyone kind of missed, that like when he was talking about his friend that had passed away from all that, I think he just got
Misquoted.
misquoted, yeah.
I also
Yeah.
think him saying I'm just a person having an experience is him just kind of putting the cushion down, like, hey guys, I know you're gonna knock me, just like don't hurt me too bad.
No, but that's real though. That is a real thing though.
It is a real thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't.
there are certain things that are like sort of like deal breakers, right? And so I have people, if it's a deal breaker, then no, they're not friends.
Yeah, I got friends that are on the right side spectrum. I got cousins that are, you know, I guess you can say racist or whatever. I actually engage in conversations with them just because I want to see where they're coming from.
It would be cool to get to a point where the right's like, oh wow, so these people genuinely are pushing for stuff that does affect us in a friendly manner.
But do you think that people think that? Do you think that people on the right think everyone deserves a home, or do you think that they feel like I
of
worked
course
and
they
I
don't.
earned this?
They don't think that. Of course they don't.
Their beliefs are so extreme that it kind of crosses into like a morality question for me of like who they are as people, how they view other people, and I don't want to interact consistently in a friend relationship with someone like that.
I don't know. I don't think that just because you label yourself a certain way politically, you can't be with people who are on the other side. And it's not that like they're bad people, but it is sometimes I think about like, would they be my friend if I was a certain color or a certain like religion? Like, would they still like me?
I grew up in the church. I was in my church's band. I was like, I had multiple weeks where I preached. And then one day I was like, oh man, this sucks. These people have views that are anti-human while they're the ones here preaching, love each other, love everyone. I'm like, you hate your neighbor. Like you're the ones telling me that gay people deserve to burn in hell. I genuinely did lose a lot of friends when I stepped out of that.
So like, was it more personal or was it like more political though?
It's probably more political. A lot of people that are more pro-life. It's like, this is the most like normal thing we could do is be pro-choice. And they're like, no.
Some women have a hard time being able to get like their tubes tied, you know, if they don't have children or if they're too, like the doctor decides they're too young. You know? It's like, it's a personal health decision that's being
We
taken
could
away.
move now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like it was more about trying to prove who's the most of the most.
Probably gonna go one over here, maybe.
I'm not
no,
over,
I
I'm
think
not at the
I'm over
lowest
here.
still.
So
Okay.
then you would
So,
have
like,
to come
right
here.
here.
Max.
So I would
you're
maybe
here.
put
You should
myself
be
like
there.
here. I don't know. It's hard because it feels like we all agree to a degree on a lot of
That's
things.
why I'm saying
so
we
it's
need to
hard
ask like a
rank
controversial
them.
question.
Controversial question. How do you feel about like the police?
I do think they're necessary evil.
I think regulation's important.
Sir,
I
you
think
can
you
move.
gotta definitely police unions. I think police unions are like the
you can
biggest,
move.
strongest unions in the country.
They are.
And accountability
I don't know if I
is
would say ACAB. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I do believe in
Yeah.
taking some of their budget and redistributing it to like services that will help people.
The fact that the New York Police Department is like the size of a military is terrifying. That's so scary, and you see a lot of bad things occur from that.
For that reason.
Yeah. that's
Here
what
we
I'm
go.
saying.
Step to
Here we
the
go.
Okay.
military.
I mean, again, like a necessary evil.
Yeah.
I am
think-
like I'm very pro-military.
Well, I just got a lot of friends from like economic purposes. I had to join the military, you know, for like, and the military gives you a lot, teaches you a lot of things about life discipline, which helps people translate into civilian life. I feel.
Do you feel like there's
Every
a bigger
country's got a
issue there though? Like that people have to go into the military in order to be economically sound? Like I feel like it's a jobs program.
That's predatory.
Exactly.
That's like, yeah. And we're allocating this money to weapons that aren't needed, insane things. I'm not a big fan of the military.
Okay, I'm gonna move over.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. I think the military overall, like 90-10, is like better than not.
I think it is very very conservative to be very pro-military. That's like a poster conservative ideology.
I'm personally pretty pro-military, but I don't know. I'm not that passionate about it to get into the conversation they're having.
Okay, I kind of have a question about like representative diversity. A lot of times when we talk about diversity and things like that, it's never a progressive. It's always just like appearance-based diversity.
I care more about policies than like being represented.
Yeah, like I could care less who's but like the policy.
You know, like I'm definitely for like we need to diversify like models or like people that we see in these industries, but I do think it should be more like who they are.
I mean, because like equity is the goal, right? Like if we did a better job of identifying differences in the first place, then we wouldn't have so much time like making up for it. Colorblind society led to this issue with DEI, which I like find really annoying. Every training I have to go to. Anyone like particularly pro-capitalism or like anti?
I'm kind of anti.
anti?
I'm pretty anti.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I participate in it because you got to.
I think I'm in the camp of like I'm more of an equitable capitalist. Like I feel like we could do capitalism better, or like we could fix it.
I think that's cool. It's like the guy in Seattle that forfeited his wage and turned everyone's wage to
Oh,
$71,500.
Dan Price, yeah.
Yeah.
We are in a world where people have yachts and are going to space for fun while there are people dying on the streets and like starving. Like, you know, if you can give more, I think you could and you should, just because it's like, it's a group.
How much does one person need, really?
Yeah,
really,
right?
like really.
But who defines that besides, like, the person themselves?
The system that we all were born into and our parents were born into, we all kind of were opted into the capitalist system where we kind of thought like, oh, we make the most money, you earned it and all that stuff. But Jeff Bezos got all that money, bro, and we got hella homeless people on Skid Row. Like, what's up with that?
But like the thing
Like,
is,
no.
it's still illegal to take his money.
That,
When you
nah,
think about
that, nah. You know, we have politicians that don't really care about the well-being of the working class people and stuff like that. Minimum wage is still $7.25. You know, what are we doing here, guys?
I guess here's like a question though. I guess, so, you know, I want the best for everyone, but that also kind of puts like some personal responsibility on it. I don't want someone to just kind of like get a bunch of money and then do nothing.
I think that's definitely a very left-leaning thing to think about, how everyone should be up and working and doing that. I think that's more than fine to say, because I think everyone contributes for a society to work.
Some of what you just said right now, I feel like I might be on the other side of you on that issue. People work so hard and it's not like it's a fair game to start out with. So sure,
No,
yeah,
not at
people
all.
shouldn't be just like sitting if they can do something else, but if they can't, they still deserve comfort and to live like a life of dignity.
I don't think I care what they're doing. As
Just
long,
doing something.
Something.
What if they just want to relax and chill, man?
Then I would.
Life is stressful. Sometimes you want to just have a good like.
So
week
and
not
yeah,
do anything.
and I mean that's like
I don't know. with that, you
and
know.
there is, I don't think there is anything wrong with that.
Okay, you guys are now going to go to politicalcompass.org and take the test there. In spot number 5, Allison.
Solid.
Nice.
In spot number 4, we have Max.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised that Max was like next to me. He just gave me vibes of someone who is more like anti-establishment, anti like capitalism, more like anarchy kind of vibes.
This was
In spot number 3, we have Christian.
Hey.
In spot number 2, we have David.
Oh, okay. Nice.
In spot number 1, we have Brandy.
Interesting.
So we weren't close.
I do firmly believe things are on me, and like I'm gonna lean left because I just care.
And I kind of expect you guys maybe to pick like one random like conservative to throw in there to kind of like throw us out, but it was cool.
It was cool to see how similar we all felt on some things, but then also how there were definitely things that were like more deviating, but we all still agreed that like we're all liberals, we're all part of this.
I honestly thought it was gonna maybe be in the 3 spot.
Yeah,
Just-
I thought I was gonna move out. I don't know, it's hard to like range people on my
Yeah.
I wonder what I chose that was more of a conservative thought. I was still pretty far left on that compass, so that's crazy. That's like, it's impressive.